Good morning. Today we are going to learn the basics of WordPress in an overview, and I'm not going to go into a lot of specifics. It's really going to be just about setting up the basics of your site, and we're going to go more deeply into other aspects of WordPress in later videos. So, we've installed WordPress, and I'm going to put in my password. Whoops, I put my password in wrong. Easy to do. Okay, so once we log into our WordPress site, we go to our dashboard. And as of this moment, our dashboard, our WordPress site contains a few things that I've already put in. And let's take a look at it. So I'm going to visit my site, and right now it contains just some junk here on the sidebar, some pages which I've created, and the title, just another WordPress site. And this is actually a post. Okay, so let's go back to the dashboard and let's discuss the first important thing that we need to know about WordPress. The most important thing that we need to keep in mind in the beginning is the difference between posts and pages. All right, so a page, let's go to Page All Pages. I have several of them set up. About, Contact, Photos, and Privacy Policy. Pages are for items on your site that don't change or update. So for example, my contact page and my about page are probably not going to change a whole lot in terms of I'm not going to be adding new information to them. They're not a dynamic page. My photos might change a little bit because I might add something to it, but probably it's not going to be like a Facebook post or a blog post. Posts, on the other hand, are used for information that is dynamic or information that changes. So right now I have a junk post here, Hello World, and it is placed there automatically for me by WordPress, so I'm going to go ahead and trash it. But a post can be used for blog posts, which is the original intent, because WordPress started out as a blogging platform. Or it can be used for any number of things. Posts are actually used by different WordPress themes for things like slider images, for blog posts, regular blog posts, for any number of different functions in WordPress, but the common factor that they usually have is that they are things that are dynamic and change over time on your website, whereas pages are things that are relatively permanent. So I'm not going to have any posts right now. Okay, so media. Media, right now I'm going to have nothing in my media library. Media are mostly pictures, but sometimes sounds and PDF files. I'm going to go ahead and add one item to my media file here. And I'm going to, let's see. All right, so that's a picture of my sister and I at a wedding, so I'm going to put that into my media file. It uploads, and boom, we can massage this a little bit, but we have a media file in our website. Notice it's rotated. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I just want you to know what media is. Okay, so WordPress stores all of your media online. So what this means is that you need to make sure all of those files are sized for the web before you upload them. Look at, we have a maximum upload size of 100 megabytes, but I will tell you that if you need to still continue to follow the rules of good web design and size your images in Photoshop before you upload them to your media, because we don't want a slow loading website. Okay, so let's take a look real briefly here. This is 16 by 16 by 12, and it's also rotated in a really weird way. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and edit my image. And first thing I'm going to do is rotate it counterclockwise. So we have some image editing tools, and I'm going to, you can actually scale the image in WordPress if you want, but I don't recommend that. I recommend that you scale it in Photoshop. So I'm going to go ahead and save it for now. What I should do is get rid of this image, resize it in Photoshop, and upload it again. So I can give it a title, Lisa and Kristen. I can give it a caption. I can give it alt text. Lisa and Kristen at wedding. Okay, and I can give it a description. And remember, all of that is important, very important. It is important because, as we remember, the alt attribute is something that Google and the other search engines use to crawl your image and discover what it is about so that they can place it more highly in the search engines. A caption and a description are also good. So I'm going to close that, and you'll notice that it saved it for me, so it auto-saved. Sometimes things auto-save in WordPress, sometimes they don't. All right, so now let's go to pages, all pages. And we have here some static pages, and I'm going to go ahead and add a new page. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to make that page into a services page. All right, so you're going to notice that this looks and functions exactly like Microsoft Word. So this is bold, italic, bulleted list, numbered list, block quote. You can put all your, this is our toolbar toggle, so we actually have more tools available for us. And although you can, so let's see, I'm going to just put in a bit of text here. All right, so I can use this. All right, so let's make this into a list. Let's take that period out. I don't want that. I'm going to go ahead and make that into a bulleted list. And I want you to notice something. There's a visual view, and then there's a text view. The text view is, guess what? Hey, here's our unordered list. So you can actually code your pages using HTML. WordPress will take not all HTML, but it will take some HTML. So the visual view is very easy to work with. Shows you, it's nice for people who have not used HTML before. Since you know HTML, you can look at the text view, and this is giving you pretty much what you can use. You can add an image, you can add a list, you can add a list item, you can add code, more, and you can make it close the tags if none of your tags are closed. But for the most part, we're going to be using minimal HTML within WordPress. We're going to use something else called shortcodes, which are much deeper, more fun, and offer a lot more functionality. So again, we're not going to go into that this minute. This is just our WordPress overview. Okay, so I'm going to publish this page, magic blue button, and I can also update it whenever I make new changes. So when you see, like I said, sometimes WordPress will auto-update, sometimes it won't. Okay, so appearance. Okay, let's have a little fun. So right now our site looks like this. Okay, do you notice something? What's missing here? Well, what's missing is that the page I just created isn't in the menu. So let's go back to the dashboard, and let's go to appearance. Okay, first thing, I'm not going to go through these in order, and I'm actually not going to go through them all right now. Let's go to menus. So I have created a menu, and I am actually going to delete that menu and start from scratch. All right, so here we are. Here's where you'd be. So I'm going to call my menu, I called my old menu, menu 1, so I guess I'll call this one menu 1. Menu 1.2, we'll call it menu 1.2. And I'm going to go ahead and click the magic blue button to create a menu. And I can choose to auto add new top level pages or not. I'm going to not take that option. I like to manually add my pages. You can do that or not do it. So we have 5 pages. I'm going to select all of them and I'm going to add them to the menu. And now I'm going to save the menu. Okay, so all of these pages are now going to be in our menu. And the next thing we need to do is manage locations. So there's edit menus, and then behind it we have manage locations. Okay, so we have 2 menus in this theme. And my primary menu, I'm going to make menu 1.2 and go ahead and save it. Now let's preview our site. Okay, here's our services page. All right, so see where it says nothing found? This area is by default reserved for posts. We're going to change that in a minute so that page content comes up first. Let's go back to our dashboard. All right, so let's go to appearance. We've gone through the basics of menus, and let's go through the very basics of themes. Okay, so WordPress comes with several themes. One of the wonderful things about WordPress is that you can change the theme whenever you want. And it will change the look and feel of your website pretty much at the click of a button. So I have 3 themes here. I'm going to activate the 2015 theme, which is one of the default themes of WordPress. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and see what changed. Okay, so we have a different layout. Let's go back to dashboard. We're going to go straight to themes, and we're going to change it to the 2017 theme and activate that. This is what's the default when you get your WordPress site. Let's visit our site. Here's our menu and all of our other good stuff here. By the way, this sidebar, these are called widgets, and these are all junk. We're going to get rid of them. All right, so let's go back to the dashboard. Okay, so there are literally hundreds of thousands of themes out there for you to choose from, and your job is to find the one that best expresses the aesthetic that you want while holding all the functionality that you need. So again, that's going to be a discussion for a different video. All right, but one thing we are going to do is get rid of all the junk widgets. Okay, what are widgets? Widgets are little mini programs that add to the functionality of your website. So for example, recent posts. Well, I don't have any posts, so I'm going to delete that. Bye. Recent comments. We don't have any comments. In fact, I don't even know if we want comments. Archives. Well, this is a new website. We don't have any archives. Categories. I'm deleting that. And meta information. I'm deleting that. In fact, I'm deleting everything except the search engine. And you can see I have 2 places to put widgets: the blog sidebar and my footer. Okay, and I have a lot of things to choose from. For example, I could put an image here, and all I have to do is drag and drop. Okay, so I'm going to add an image from my media library, and I'll choose the one picture that I have, and then that picture is going to show up in the sidebar. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. Remember, magic blue button. I can put a navigation menu on my sidebar. I don't want that. I'd rather have one in my footer. I can have an image gallery. So if I want a gallery, I can put that in the sidebar. These are all things that go in the sidebar or the footer. Custom HTML. That's kind of nice. I'll show you how to do that a little bit. An audio player. Okay, one thing that you need to know about widgets is that the default widgets change with every theme. Sometimes you will have a ton of widgets. Sometimes you will have just a few widgets. So these are the default widgets that come with WordPress. So we have recent posts, tag cloud, text, video. All those are really nice to have, and we're going to like them a lot. And all we have to do to add them or delete them. So if I delete this, it's gone. And if I want to drag something in, so for example, if I wanted to, let's say I want to put a video in my sidebar. Okay, so I can add a video from my media library, or I can insert it from a URL. Okay, so here's our, let's go to my YouTube channel here and let's insert a video. So I'm going to go to my channel. Okay, so let's insert my media queries video. I'm going to pause it, and I am going to share, and I'm going to click on embed, and I'm going to grab that iframe, copy it, and I'm going to put that, actually, you know what, it wants a URL, it doesn't want to embed it. So I'm going to go back to my YouTube channel, and instead of embed, I'm going to just get a URL. So we'll copy that. There. So we have our CSS media queries video, and that's going to go in our sidebar. So we can have all of this cool stuff in our sidebar. All right, let's save it. Let's take a look at our site. Where is it? It's in the sidebar. And notice all of that junk that we did not need was removed from the sidebar. All right, let's go back to dashboard and users. Okay, so right now there's only one user, and that's you. So let's take a look at all users. So that's me. And I have administrator privileges, which means I can change everything about the site, which means I can completely destroy the site if I want to. Later on, you might want to add users who have the ability to, say, write content for your site, but it has to go through you before it gets published. We're going to go over that in a different video. Okay, so let's go to Tools. Okay, so we don't have many available tools except for import and export. So we will want to export our all content and back up our WordPress site fairly frequently. So I'm going to download the export file, and this is going to contain all of our posts, all of our pages, but it won't contain certain things like our theme customization or our actual picture files. So don't be fooled. As far as export, we will be using different plugins to back up WordPress. Okay, now finally, we're at settings. Settings is key. That title, just another WordPress site, we're getting rid of that. So we're going to call this Lisa Sharp's Web Design Site. And its tagline is going to be Learn Web Design. Okay, here's our URL, our site address, the email address. Now look, this is deloy@yahoo.com, which is used for admin purposes. I am going to use my own email address, lisa.sharp@greenville.edu, as the admin address, as you should. And how about membership? Okay, do you want people to be able to subscribe to your site? Do you want anyone to be able to register? This is going to depend on the type of site that you're going to create. So for right now, I'm going to say not everyone can register. I don't want a whole lot of people on my site right now. So I'm going to save changes. Let's look under writing. Okay, so writing settings. This is for you writing posts. And you can write posts via email, and that's kind of fun, but mostly we will not be doing that, so we're not going to be using a lot of this. Reading, same thing. Our home pages, so blog pages show at most 10 posts, syndication feeds show the most recent 10 posts. We can discourage search engines from indexing the site if we want to. Right now, probably that would, I'm going to leave that blank, but this is the most important item. Our home page displays one of two things. My latest posts. I don't have any posts. I want this to display pages, something that has some content. So my home page is not going to be the privacy policy, it's going to be my about page. Now right now my about page has no content. I'm going to need to fill that in later. And I can create a posts page to hold any posts like blog posts, updates, new videos, new additions to your site. I am not going to, since I haven't created a page for that, I'm not going to select a posts page for right now, but I am going to make sure that I have this set to a static page. And I'm going to go ahead and save the changes. Okay, let's take a look at the site. Okay, now we have the About page as our home page, and we can actually go into that and edit that, and I could add, say, a bio and a picture or something like that. All right, so here we are. Let's go back to settings. Let's go to discussion. All right, discussion is where we stop people from doing bad things on our site. So I'm going to take all of this off. I'm not going to allow people to post comments. I'm going to make it hard for people to post comments. I'm going to make them fill out their name and email. I'm going to make them have to register and log in. We do not want a ton of spam on our WordPress site. And believe me, people spam WordPress sites all the time. Okay, so I can have it email me when anyone posts a comment, and I'm going to say the comments have to be manually removed, and the comment author must have a previously approved comment. So that pretty much effectively stops people from making comments. Now, for this particular site, we don't need anybody to make comments, but let's say we were building out a full e-commerce site. We might want to enable comments because we might want to get product reviews, for example. If we were doing an informational site, like a site on how to do various Photoshop techniques, we would want comments. Now we can change all of this at any time, but for right now, at this stage of the game in this website, I don't want any comments. They're not necessary. I'm just going to have to delete them anyway. Okay, media, very important. All right, so the default size for a thumbnail or a small image, a medium-sized image, or a large-sized image is completely set by you. So the default thumbnail size, 150 by 150, I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with medium, but I'm going to make my small, or excuse me, I'm going to make my large a little bit smaller image. So I have a faster loading site. Now, this does not change the fact that you need to size all your images in Photoshop before putting them up in your media. But at the very least, I get to choose what size an image displays at. And so I'm going to choose, once we start getting into creation of pages, I'll choose an image and I'll say, okay, I want it thumbnail, I want it media, I want it large. All right, permalinks. Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you think a search engine is going to want to dig through all of this? Lisa Sharp, greenvilledm.com/site/Lisa Sharp/2018/721/sample post? No. We're going to use the type post name. Okay? We don't want to overcomplicate things for the search engines, so we're going to make it easy for them to reach things by name. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. It's going to go to the name of the page or the name of the post rather than this. Page 123 means nothing to a search engine. A page with a name, that means something to a search engine. So I'm going to go to the magic blue button and save changes. Okay, privacy policy page. We already have that set up. We can edit it or view it, and it's a good idea to have a privacy policy page. You can use theirs, which comes with your website, or you can create your own. And Akismet anti-spam we're going to come back to when we actually talk about plugins and widgets. All right, that's all for now. That's our overview from a bird's eye level of WordPress. Thanks for watching.